Our top story tonight, some going down in November.
Wars, spending.
There has got to be something big a-brewing.
They're using geese to guard prisons in Brazil.
Does Biden know what Mexico
policies.
is? Would you scare Joe Biden? What are we laughing at?
I think Billy Mays was real.
I'm a world-class skeptic.
I don't know anything about Hunter Biden. I don't know who's big into cocaine and laptops. Why is that our problem?
Complete, absolute incompetence. Like, who funds the news?
It's a freaking inside job, man. That the entire world's a stage and everything's fake.
Good evening, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Veritas Road. I am Carson, back here with John in the studio. Damn it, I forgot what can everybody hear me, by the way? We had some tech difficulties early on, so we're starting a little later than planned. But we're happy to see you guys tonight. Happy to be live. Quick thank you and shout out again to Jules for the Gray Pill dep we did with him the other day. That was fantastic. Thanks, buddy. So yeah, we've got some interesting stuff tonight. We're going to talk about everything from Trump's brain to the juice emoji to things my nephew said to me over Thanksgiving. So it should be a pretty fun evening, honestly. And just a quick plug before we get started. For folks who are listening, Austin Picard, we're doing an ep with him on, what is it, the 11th, John? Right? December 11th?
Yeah, 7 p.m. Central.
December 11th, 7 p.m. Central Time. We're going to be talking about the Delphi murders. We're super excited to talk about that. That is going to be a blast. Excited to get to know Austin. I hear he's a phenomenal human being. So can't wait to sit down, talk with him, and get to know a little bit more about him and about all the wild stuff that went on with those. Because those were just insane. And then Sunday, we've got an upcoming about AI. So stay tuned for that. That one should be interesting as well. I've started reading the Book of Enoch, and that's been just wild. Let me tell you. If you haven't read the Book of Enoch, highly recommend. It is super interesting. John, can we get the Google Doc up whenever you get a minute? But yeah, thanks for joining us tonight. Should be some interesting stuff. So while we're getting everything pulled up, over Thanksgiving, we'll begin and end with this probably. Over Thanksgiving, I was at, so we go to my brother/mom. They're not the same person, by the way. It's not like some kind of weird trans issue. It's my brother and my mom's house. They both live in the same place currently. But anyway, I was playing outside with my nieces and nephews. They're all super cute. And my nephew, as we're outside, we ran some laps around their house because he's 6 and full of energy. But after we got done running some laps, we sat down, we laid down in the grass, and he looks at me and says, "I feel like we're being watched." And I don't know about anybody else, but when a kid says that to me, says like weird things to me, like, "Hey, I see something over there. Hey, I feel like we're being watched," I immediately like focus in and pay attention because I feel like they're already seeing stuff that I'm not, right? And so I was already super intrigued, and I kept trying to get him to tell me what exactly he felt like was watching us, because at least for my part, like, I know I felt things, I saw things, I understood things when I was young, when I was little, when I was unencumbered by all the propaganda and all the, frustrations of adult life, all the bullshit. I saw a lot more then than I do now. And so I'm always super intrigued to hear what a child has to say about those kinds of things, because I'm quite confident that they see and understand a lot more about whatever's going on than I do. And so I asked him, I was like, "Hey man, what do you think is watching us?" And it took like 5 years for me to get an answer out of him, because one of the biggest frustrations I have when I'm around any kind of kid and their parents or anyone like older than them is people never shut up and let the kid talk. A kid will say, "Hey, guess what we did today?" And then mom or dad will be like, "We went to the zoo. Let him tell you about it." I'm like, no, let the child fucking speak for himself. He's old enough to articulate albeit terribly, but they're old enough to articulate. Why are you speaking for them? Kids have absolutely fascinating things to say. And so we will get back to more about what the little man had to say to me about who he felt like was watching us later on. Teaser for the end of the app, because I think I want to close on that. But that being said, holy shit, we'll get into John. What are you doing? John's turning on random lights in the studio.
I won't show myself on screen yet. I forgot to turn all my lights on over here. So I am just behind. So
You're just behind?
yeah.
Well, you look good, bud.
And I can't figure out why this is not doing what I want it to do.
You look great.
So I might just be in the dark today.
That's okay. Your face still looks good in the dark. I think it looks better in the dark, actually.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So I have one light that's working.
That's all
and
right.
That's just gonna be. I had 2 lights. We'll do those 2. It'll look shitty, but
You look sexy no matter how much light's on your face.
So
bud.
that's not terrible.
Look at you. Yeah. Look at you, beef baby.
All right.
All right. So, first things first, let's talk about TikTok and the Jews. TikTok is making a move to ban the use of the juice emoji because too many people were catching on to our blue-starred friends and what they're up to. So TikTok is moving to crack down on the use of the, and I'm going to say this very specifically, juice, like apple juice emoji, because of what that symbolizes. I think that's fucking hilarious. The fact that people have been so clever as to stop saying the J word on air and they've started using the little juice box, I think is brilliant. I'll take it a step further. I think we should start calling all of these AIPAC senators, I think we start calling them vegans. Because what do vegans love to do? They love to juice. Vegans love the juice. And so I think people like fucking, what are the... God damn it! What are these senators who love the blue flag, John? What are some of their names?
I don't know. I was just gonna say, you're gonna have a hard time calling Randy Fine a vegan, and that actually landed on anybody. That motherfucker ain't eating just vegetables if you've ever seen him.
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
He is a large man. I don't know though. I've seen some obese vegans out there. One of the places I bartended in Memphis, it was a pizza joint, and these vegans would come in there all the time to eat like loaded fries. And so you can be an obese vegan. Don't let people tell you that's not a thing, because it's a thing. And so I think, guys, new terminology, we're going to start calling all these AIPAC senators vegans, because vegans love the Jews. And by Jews, I mean the thing that comes out of oranges. Juice. Juice. You hear that? Grok? Juice. Juice. All right, I think I beat that to death. So just love the fact that it happened so much that TikTok had to ban it. In other news, Trump's health, which has been of weird concern over the last little bit, and I mean, he is the oldest, I think, elected president ever, has been in the headlines lately, and I feel like these are the stories that only appeal to like the heavy boomers now, right? The people who are like somehow have their self-worth tied to the health of an 80-year-old man who doesn't like who allegedly runs the country. Who else gives a shit about this? But the White House press secretary came out, and let's play this video clip real quick. John gave a quick synopsis of how Trump's yearly physical went. The fact that they felt the need to do this, the fact that they continue to feel the need to do this seems insane. What happened to the days of like George Washington and Andrew Jackson, where these people would literally leave office and go beat the shit out of somebody with their cane in the street? That's when men were men. That's when America was great. Okay, you want to talk about America being great again? How about you take a gold cane and go beat the fuck out of one of your servants at Trump Tower? That's America being great again. Let's see that, Trump. Why don't you do that? That'll prove to me that you're healthy as a horse or whatever you keep saying. Let's play this video.
All right. Anyone in the chat, let me know if you cannot hear this.
Hell, I can't hear it. John, you got it muted.
Oh,
Right now, it is happening.
Follow up on the MRI because
President Trump yesterday said that he would release the results of his MRI. Is that happening right now?
It is happening right now. As part of, and this is a summary from the president's physician, and we will release it right now. I think my team has it teed up for all of you. I'll read it for you, and then you'll get it physically as well. As part of President Trump's comprehensive executive physical, advanced imaging was performed because men in his age group benefit from a thorough evaluation of
Old men.
cardiovascular
Old-ass
and
men.
abdominal health.
That's it. That's all I had to say, John. Sorry.
The purpose of this imaging is preventative, to identify any issues early, confirm overall health, and ensure the president maintains long-term vitality and function. President Trump's cardiovascular imaging was perfectly normal. No evidence of arterial narrowing impairing blood flow or abnormalities in the heart or major vessels. The heart chambers are normal in size, the vessel walls appear smooth and healthy, and there are no signs
Trump
of
is
inflammation
smooth and
or
healthy,
clotting.
ladies and gentlemen.
Overall,
Smooth and
his
healthy.
cardiovascular system shows excellent health. His abdominal imaging is also perfectly normal. All major organs appear very healthy and well perfused. Everything evaluated
All right,
is
I
functioning
can't
within
take any
normal
more of
limits
this.
with no
I
acute or chronic concerns.
Love the idea of a physician sitting there having to write the words, Trump is smooth and healthy. I like the idea of somebody writing that about Trump. I also like the idea of somebody talking about how his abdomen is perfect. I love the idea of a guy in a white coat, some physician who probably makes like more in 10 minutes than I'll make my entire life, having to write Donald Trump's abdomen is perfect. I like the idea of that. I like the humiliation that man probably has to experience when I'm sure the total lies he's paid to put out in the press hit the media. Like I like the idea. This is good old-fashioned lying to the public. This is the way government should be. Okay, a government that cares lies to its people. This makes me feel so much more secure in our country than I think anything has in a long time, because we're just going to come out. We obviously paid this guy to lie to you, and that's what we're going to do. It's like the cartel. Like, sure, they're not great, but at least you know what they're about, right? It's nice. It just makes me feel at home. And then Trump came out later. There's another video where Trump talks about his test results in true Donald Trump fashion. I think I have it linked in the Google Doc. I believe. There it is.
Get an MRI? I understand that the results were good, but what was it for?
Because it's part of my physical. Getting an MRI is very standard. Well, you think I shouldn't have it? Other people get it.
Typically an MRI
I had an
is some
MRI.
specific part of your body.
Here's what the story is. I had an MRI. The doctor said it was the best result he has ever seen as a doctor. That's it. But I had an MRI as part of my standard yearly, or I think they do it every 2 years, but I have the physical every year, and the result was outstanding. Did you know? I have no idea what they analyzed, but whatever they analyzed it well, and they said that I had as good a result as they've ever seen.
In true Trump fashion, I don't know what they did. I had an MRI. I don't know what they did. They looked at it, but they said, and I don't know what they did, but it was the best one they had ever seen. It's complete bullshit, but it's the kind of bullshit I expect out of the United States of America. And I mean, I guess this is a rational response given all of the attention his like hand was getting, the bruises on his hand and the veins on his leg. And I mean, there's a lot of like Nephilim talk about maybe there's a snake in there. What do you think about all that, John? I feel like you probably have some opinions about the weird bruising. You think has Trump been cloned? Is he, what's going on? What do you think?
I don't know. I haven't really.
You are not hot. Your mic is not hot.
Oh shit. I have not really given it that much thought.
All right.
In all honesty, so I
Okay.
don't really have a whole lot to say.
I appreciate
It's
your
like,
honesty.
It's just a fat, unhealthy old something.
Yeah, there's no way.
Who the hell knows if he's actually a person anymore?
Right.
But I don't know. It just
There's no way a physician actually said this is the best MRI I've ever seen. That for sure didn't happen at all. Trump, I'm sure, it doesn't sound like he knows what an MRI is. I'm not sure he knows what actually happened to him. So there is that. But this gets so much, like, this gets a weird amount of attention in the media now. And this, along with, I think I have the next article tagged to kind of go with this. This is the kind of thing that just seems engineered to catch the attention of all the boomers. And so, like, CNN put out this article. We don't really need to read it or anything. The tagline was like, winter storm dropping like a cyclone bomb or something on their main page. And it's literally just, hey, there could be a big winter storm in, like, the Midwest or some shit like that. But the more I read through, like, because occasionally when we get ready to do these, I'll read through, like, CNN and Fox News and different sites like that. The more I read through those, the more I see all of these headlines that are completely, like, no one would otherwise give a fuck, but they're obviously designed to pull in the attention, quite frankly, of people like my mom, who are like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a storm in the Midwest. John, it could get below freezing here. You need to go buy milk and eggs. I'm going to be suckling at the teat of the national news network for the next 6 weeks, just in case 8 snowflakes show up. And the amount of energy that they must still be garnering from these boomers has to be, I mean, it has to be enough to keep these going. How is this still happening? So yeah, it just boggles my mind. That's all I really have to say about that. Let's move on to the next thing.
Well, you covered the...
There's one thing in Instagram, actually. If we take a look at our Instagram...
Son of a bitch, Carson. I'm not signed into our Instagram.
Oh, damn it,
You're gonna have
John.
to
I
vamp
thought you
for
were.
a second. No, I don't. Who uses Instagram in a web browser?
Me, because I'm 150. Yeah, I found one article. I did put it in Instagram because that's where I found it on my phone, and so I just put it in our drive on there. While we're looking for this, folks, be sure to tune in next week on Sunday, going live around 7 p.m. to talk about AI and what that could mean for the future. Additionally, please be sure to tune in on December 11th for our episode on the Delphi murders with Austin Picard. We'll be looking forward to it. If you go to Saved, there is a Tuesday file. Oh, that was what I had from Instagram. We already looked at it. It links you directly to.
Oh, son of a...
My bad, dude.
Son of a whore.
My bad, dude. It's been a minute since we've done one of these. We're shaking the rust off. Shaking the rust off, folks.
Where do you want to start?
All right, let's just start at the top. That's really depressing. Never mind. I don't want to start with that. Yeah, that's sad. Sorry. Let's talk about Vivek for a minute. Let's talk about Vivek, because I feel like you have some shit to say about this. So Vivek came out with this video saying he wants to have school year-round, and there were all of these people saying, oh my gosh, he's the worst, you know, and then I guess his supporters posted that it was AI. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
They were like, it's not actually him, it's AI.
Yeah.
And so here's the video of him talking about it, to like making school year round to save, like to help parents save money somehow.
Right, Republicans, you want to get serious about winning in 2026? Here's how we do it. Let's offer solutions that bring down costs now, not in the distant future, but in the present. Bring down those electric bills by requiring AI data centers to pay for their own energy. Bring down housing costs by ending land use restrictions that stop new home construction. And you know what? Slash property taxes while we're at it. Let's make healthcare affordable by topping up health savings accounts. More on that soon. I'm a dad. Make parenting more affordable by making school year-round and going till 4 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock so you don't have to pay for childcare. Bring down electric bills, bring down housing costs, make healthcare more affordable, and make parenting a reality.
That's parenting. That's making parenting a reality. Is, hey, ship your kids off to the state more than you already do.
Yes. That's exact. Yes. Like, look, Vivek, Ramallah, listen. Our kids don't need more fucking propaganda. That's all that is let's indoctrinate your kids more. Let's do it year round, and let's do it for an extra hour a day. What about that is going to make parenting more affordable? Moving the end time of school from 3 to 4, like most people work till like 4:30 or 5. That's not going to fix anything for mom or dad. All that is a ploy to indoctrinate your kids more. And that's me saying that is like, conceptually, I like the idea of Vivek, kind of the pseudo-libertarian Republican candidate. If I believed in the system, I'd be a huge Vivek fan, more than likely. But that kind of thing is just a ploy for us to get more shit inside your kid's head as the government. And it's absolutely outrageous. This concept of like, these politicians who get up there and they're like, let's solve a problem by coming up with a solution. You know what solves problems? Solutions. And if you want to win a vote, you know what you should do? You should come up with solutions as a Republican candidate and put those solutions out there to the people. Saying things without actually presenting any real solutions to the actual problem. This isn't going to solve anything. All it's going to make sure of is that parents are surrendering more and more of their kids' life, of their kids' education, of their kids' ability to think for themselves to the state. That seems healthy, right? That's certainly not... We're not going to indoctrinate your kids at school. We wouldn't do that. We're not going to give your 12-year-old a bunch of contraceptives so they can go fuck behind the gym. Schools would never do that. Teachers aren't required to do that by law in a lot of states. No. We'll tell you about little Johnny's trans operation. So when little Johnny becomes little Jonna, what's a girl name of Johnny? I don't know. But we'll tell you about her operation. We'll make you aware of it the day after it happens. What kind of insane shit is this? And it's always weird how they seem to find a way to niggle into these people's lives, into the minds of like the more conservative people by like hiding the message inside an inside somebody who would typically fit in with that person's agenda, right? Like Operation Warp Speed with Trump, like all the fucking like AI mRNA stuff again with Trump, like Vivek saying, hey, let's indoctrinate your kids more at school. Like they always find a way to sprinkle in a little more control, a little less freedom into the messages of these people who otherwise absolutely fit the bill for your like middle-class American who just wants to be left alone.
Yeah, and selling it in that, middle class message is just like, hey, we're just cutting down the cost of living.
Yeah.
We're just cutting down the cost of living. It's like, let us control your kids more and more, and that'll lower your cost of living. That's going to lower your cost of childcare.
Absolutely.
If they stay with us. And it's like, thankfully, like a bunch of people shit on this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like they do this shit sometimes to just kind of, just kind of test the waters, see what the response is going to be. Kind of put a little bit of a gauge on the culture a little bit. And I don't know, maybe this is something that they do have waiting down the line, and just seeing where people are at and getting them to accept it.
I mean, I think that's a good point. I think they do things like this a lot to test and see how the American public is gonna react. You're right. I can't read the damn chat from here, John. What?
Oh, it's just Nephilim Hunter said, "What up, fellas?
What up?
Thanks for joining, man."
Yeah, thanks for hopping in.
So you can't read this tiny monitor?
I can't. Yeah,
it's
you're right.
worse than that big ass TV.
Fuck off, John.
To the right.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
That's what I
It
thought.
is. Yeah, they find a. Yeah, they seem to do this exact same thing with Corona. But also, it's just the fact that they keep moving the fence line a little bit more and more each time and pushing the message through people who have like a direct line to be able to communicate with the people who would otherwise reject this kind of message, right? Get more of the jab stuff in with Trump. Get the school stuff in with the brown-looking Republican. Like this is how we push this agenda in a populace that otherwise would reject it. This is how we slowly, bit by bit, shift the consciousness of the masses by making it more palatable. It's like when when your kid's being an asshole and they don't want to eat their vegetables, you blend up some fucking squash and a chicken nugget, okay? And you give them the chicken nugget and say, "Here's a chicken nugget, but it secretly has some squash in it." That's what they're doing, except it's not squash, it's cyanide or whatever. Like, they're slowly delivering their agenda, their message, bit by bit. They're just making it more palatable for people who would otherwise reject a big bolus of control right up the ass. That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. And if you need, like, do you need any other clue that Vivek is just obviously another cog in the system? He's taken the Epstein pill, if you will, the Epstein pin. I was trying to make a thing out of Epstein and EpiPen.
Horribly bad.
Yeah, it was terrible. I tried. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they don't hit home.
Yeah. Yeah, man, and just like shit like this just shows the disconnect from what like the political system is compared to what like rephrase. This shows the disconnect of like how the political system, people can view the political system as a solution to problems.
Yeah.
And it clearly isn't, because it's like the problem that like, cost of living not going to be solved by this. Right. And it's just like it makes the problem worse. It's like what, our issue is that like, hey, kids aren't spending enough time at home. They're not spending enough time with their families. The family unit is not together and strong enough. So it's like, why are we trying to degrade it more? And it's like Republicans and conservatives preach that shit all the time.
Yeah.
So what's going on here?
Exactly right. I just realize it's finding a way to make that message palatable to the masses. I can't read it, John. What did it say? We're going to have to fix this.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Trump getting elected the first time, swinging to the right. Then Biden swung it way back to the left. And now Trump way to the right again. Just a plan all along to take control.
Yeah. Yeah. I could not agree more. Whoever wrote that, because I can't read your name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Nephilim Hunter.
Yeah. No, it's slowly moving the goalposts every single time. Every single time. It's a sugar-coated pill, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is. Feeding it to the horses. That is a great picture of Trump with an alien. And this idea that he is going to be the person to release anything about extraterrestrial life. I don't know, John. Over under, do you think the news about the aliens coming down and like the birth of the Antichrist is coming within, like before the end of Trump's term / his ascendancy into being the last president, or after? When do you think it's coming?
I don't know, man. It seems to be getting close. I don't know what it is, but there is some type of like, be it my intuition or something that thinks it's coming soon.
It feels like it is. They're ramping up all of this alien talk, and they started it out real simple, right? Hey, there are some cakes in Mexico. That's how you start anything, is, hey, there are some cakes in Mexico. First it was cakes of cocaine, then it was cakes of weed, now it's cakes of little green men, okay? And it slowly migrates into the country, again, just like the Browns from Mexico. The weed, the cocaine, and now the aliens. They're going to slowly find their way into the country. And I'm not talking illegals here, I'm talking ones from outer space. Except they're going to be, Project Bluebeam shit, more than likely, or people in weird skin suits. Or actual, I don't know, Nephilim or something. I have no clue. But they went from the cakes, right, to stuff about Area 51 becoming way more popular, and then there's all this discussion of all these like extraterrestrial meteors now, and now it's the like 3-Eye Atlas is on a beeline for planet Earth, and it looks like not a natural rock. It's got traces of, I don't know, what did Murph say? Dioxytriethylene or something like that. It's got traces of, I think it's like iridium or something, allegedly in the meteor, which would indicate that it's not like a naturally occurring rock or some shit like that. I don't know. It's all a bunch of astronomers who jerk off to spectrometry and like changes to a graph. So, I mean, I don't believe a word of what they're saying about 3-Eye Atlas, but they're definitely ramping up the alien stuff, and they're ramping it up hard. Isn't there a famous quote about, like, how to get a populace to comply, staging an alien invasion? Does that ring a bell? I feel like there is. I'm going to look that up later. I feel like there was. You know what I'm talking about, John?
No.
No? All right. Well, shit. Well, for anybody out there who knows what I'm talking about, let me know. Otherwise, I'm probably just misremembering and kind of full of shit.
Yeah, and I think the reason it seems that it is coming because it's like you've almost been seeing a lot of conspiracy theories like start to get a little bit normalized in the mainstream. Is like you have Candace Owens getting super popular, you have Tucker coming on and talking about the JFK assassination, or he's gone on a big series about 9/11 being an inside job. So they have started to spread the mainstream Overton window a little bit, and maybe that is within an end goal. It's just like, hey, all that shit that people were saying about aliens being in Area 51, well, it was real, and here's all the shit about it.
Yeah.
And again, I think I said this a couple of weeks back at some point when we talked about that. You talk about a massive, massive fucking deception. That's going to be the biggest one you've ever seen in your life.
Right.
Right? Because you talk about who they're going to be targeting with that type of thing, really going to be going hard after, Christians, really going to be going hard after like other religious groups, and to kind of just tear down any kind of idea of definitely Christian, spirituality, and probably other religions as well, is like that's going to be a big, big part of this,
Yeah, I think it will be. It helps push this whole like nihilistic, atheistic agenda for sure. But on the flip side, to be slightly less serious about it, it's going to be kind of fun. What are they going to come up with next? It's like opening gifts at Christmas. What's the next one going to be? I don't know. Is it going to be a plane flying 3 feet above the ground, allegedly hitting the Pentagon? Is Donald Rumsfeld going to just lose another like $250 billion or whatever it was because the aliens came down? What's going to happen? I can't wait to find out. It's going to be so much fun. It's like the next installment of like a fun TV show. I used to not understand what people meant by like sitting back and laughing at it, because for me, and I think for a lot of people out there, stuff like this is like, it's kind of alarming because it represents a potential massive shift in the nature of like in society potentially. And that's kind of scary because you could like lose your whole life in a day because society shifts, But I think if 2020 taught us anything, at least for me, I think there's still enough people out there, there's still enough energy opposing the idea of an immediate mass shift. I don't know how quickly that would happen. And maybe that's the glass half full guy in me. Maybe that's the dick half chub. All right? Maybe that's me being a little too positive. Maybe it is. But I still like to think that way about the glass half full, not the penises. So yeah, that's how I feel about aliens. John, you're blinking at me real strange. You got a thought?
That's some analogy there. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've always felt like, going down a whole alien narrative that can kind of change society pretty dang quickly, and kind of like I think a lot of people who even would be kind of, you would think, kind of geared to push back against that and call it all bullshit, is like if it's convincing, that won't hold very long,
I mean, that's a good point,
because it's like, even in like any type of like dissident truth circle, is like most people like accept in some form or fashion like what they say about like our cosmology, what space is, the trillions of planets and all that shit.
Yeah.
So if they can make it convincing, it's like it can trick a lot of people.
That's fair. Are you rubbing up against like the cord of your mic or something?
No.
Okay.
I'm probably moving my XLR cable.
Okay. I could hear something.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I don't know if people can hear it at home, but I mean, we've seen, have you seen all these videos about like 9/11 potentially being a hologram, right? Like,
yeah,
it seems like they had the technology out there to make you see pretty much anything. And I don't want to get too much into this because we have a discussion on this coming on Sunday. Quick plug for Sunday. Come tune in around 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for a discussion of AI. But we seem to be reaching the point where, and you alluded to this a couple of weeks ago, like we can make you see anything we want you to see. Even like us regular people who don't have access to all this like Tartarian Nephilim technology can hop on the computer and with a couple of quick clicks of the keys produce like real looking fake shit. AI can make you see just about anything. And so we're reaching a point where it's going to be super difficult to discern fake from reality. I think we're probably at a point where it's either very difficult or impossible to tell in some of these cases where they're putting out, all these super well scrubbed videos. There is that idea of like the uncanny valley where like there's always something slightly off, even about like AI videos that are put out there. Like they're always a little weird. Go back and watch all the NASA footage. It's always a little weird, but it's pretty damn good now, man. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and dude, you combine that with like, you think of like just the terror and the fear that they were able to like instill in society after 9/11.
Yeah.
Multiply it by 20, and you're in a real messed up situation, And
Yeah.
that would be if what like a alien contact or alien invasion would be.
Yeah, I mean, Orson Scott Card. I don't know how many people are familiar with the book Ender's Game, but the more time goes on, I wonder if that man was. He's a Mormon, by the way, for anybody who's curious. I wonder if he was like kind of a prophet insofar as the entire book is about an alien invasion that comes down and essentially causes the entire world to unite under one government, one hegemony. And they fight the war and this is the creepy part, and maybe we can do a longer like look at this because the more I talk about it, the more interesting I find it. They fight the war against these aliens by like heavily compartmentalizing the civilian and military life, heavily compartmentalizing especially like we're fighting the aliens portion of the military, to the point that the people who are fighting these aliens think they're just playing a video game. And then to boot, they're taking advantage of young children to do this. What?
If he was a Mormon, he wasn't a prophet, just in the know already.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah, I mean, and they're taking, in the book, they're taking advantage of, like, I think Ender is like, when the book opens, is like 5 or 6 or something. And so they're taking advantage of young children to do it. They're essentially robbing these kids of their youth and their vitality in an effort to make them fight their wars for them, in an effort to, rob them of the opportunity to grow up, rob them of their innocence, and according to the idea behind the book, like, use it for the good of mankind. But something in there, and maybe I'm getting a little too tinfoil hatty here, makes me think like we're robbing these kids of their youth and their innocence for the adrenochrome that keeps us young. Something in there makes me think of that. I don't know why, but that's what that makes me think of. And I wonder if that book wasn't a little bit prophetic in that sense. So that's where we're at on aliens. Little green men, little green cakes, coming at you from the Mexico, the land down under. Different kind of land. It's not the land down under. That's Australia. Those are different places. Different things are different. All right, moving on. Wasn't there an article about like us dropping like a bunch of these over Tennessee or some shit? John, I think you're in the wrong file. Are you in the right file?
Yeah, no. I am. It's right here.
Can I say this on the live stream? Can I say the V word? Is it going to get censored?
I don't know.
All right. Well, the USDA is dropping rabies jabs all over. It's like 6 or 7 different states. One of them being our great state of Tennessee, where we live and produce this podcast. Because according to them, rabies is becoming too much of an, at the bottom, no thanks. Rabies is becoming too much of a threat to the animal population and to the human population. Something about this smacks of grade A bullshit to me. Why do we feel the need? Here's what I think is wild. All of the people, or I imagine the majority of the people who said, hey, you know what's a good idea? Let's interfere with the natural workings of the environments of these animals, right? Most of the people who I would imagine suggested that's a good idea are one of two things, right? If they're from one of these great southern states that they're doing this in, they're probably some flavor of Christian, right? Some Baskin Robbins flavor of 31 kinds of Christian, all right? Or they're alleged intellectuals who are more than likely like atheistic Darwinists, okay? Either way, the idea of interfering with an environment like that is totally outrageous. If you're spiritual, your faith in a higher power is gone if you say, no, let's just fix the whole problem by injecting them all with the rabies vaccine. B, if they are the type of like intellectual Darwinist atheist that I would imagine are prevalent in the kind of people who are doing this sort of work, or at the very least ordering this sort of work, right? The actual people doing it are probably just wage slaves like the rest of us. But if they're the kind of people who I imagine are ordering this sort of work, they're the type of people who would say, natural selection, let nature do its thing. There's no better thing to make the ideal, whatever the fuck it is, than Mother Nature. In that case, how arrogant is it of you to think you can do better than evolution? That's essentially your God at that point. What kind of asshole arrogance do you have to say, you know what? We're going to step in and solve this problem. Nature's been working on it for allegedly like millions or billions of years, but we've got a better idea. Let's inject them all with aluminum. That seems like the move, right? Let's give them all a neurotoxin. What kind of weird arrogance do you have to do that? So, since there's no logical reason for any of this to happen, there's got to be another agenda at play. I have a hard time imagining what it is. I don't know if these doses are full of some kind of, like, there was all that talk with like the mRNA jabs about them producing proteins that could affect the unjabbed. There was a lot of talk, especially again with the mRNA jabs, about injecting things with Nephilim DNA. Look, I don't know what the end game is. I don't even know what all is in the rabies jab. I really don't know. But, and I feel like we say this on here too often, we probably got to do better about doing our research. All I know is it's not going to be what they say it is. It's not going to be an effort to make the animal population more healthier and to make sure that your kid doesn't get bitten by a scary rabid rabbit, because those are a thing. Those are not a thing. Is anybody getting bit by rabid skunks out there? One of the 3 people who's getting bit by rabid skunks probably deserves it, okay? They were probably drunk off their ass, boning in a forest somewhere and pissed off the wrong skunk. They probably deserved it, let's be honest. But it's some kind of wildly low number of people that even, like, have the problem of rabies. I assume you just looked at it, John. What is it?
I was looking at their plan to distribute, to where they're putting out like almost like 600,000 per state of oral rabies vaccine baits.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
And they're just like floating them out there. They're just dropping them from like a plane or a helicopter. Yeah. It's so freaky.
Yeah.
And nobody's like, I don't know of anybody who's talking about this. This is wild shit.
Yeah.
That's a massive stimulus. That's a massive change to put on an environment. Like, why are we just okay with doing that? I thought the whole idea was like, let nature do its thing in order to heal itself. For all these ecologists out there and these people who think we're destroying the environment, their solution is let's bait a bunch of these animals with vaccines. It's so irrational. There has to be another agenda at play. And one of these days, I'm going to look up what's in the rabies vaccine, and we're going to figure that shit out. That day's not today, but coming soon, folks. Get excited. Tell your friends. So yeah, that's just wild. I couldn't believe that when I read that. Also, who is getting rabies these days? Like, who's that happening to?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems It seems the biggest thing for me is it's probably just one of those fear diseases that kind of allows the government a little bit of control over farmers,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, hey, we can come in and kill off your chickens because they're all rabid, right? It kind of gives like a
yeah.
centralized control over the food supply. And like that's probably the biggest motivation behind it, is just kind of keep the fear of this disease so that we can inspect your livestock and control how you farm.
Kind of like what they did with polio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's keep the disease going one way or another to make sure we have a reason to give you these jabs to make it normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. That could very well be what it is. Honestly, that makes a lot of good sense. We're probably about halfway through, right? How long have we been going?
48 minutes.
Okay. Just a quick shameless plug. If you are watching, please don't be a fag and follow our channel. We're on the YouTube. We're on Rumble. We're on Twitter. We're everywhere podcasts are sold. Go check us out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Yeah, don't be gay and hit the follow button. And also tune into our live stream Sunday on AI, and then our live stream on the 11th with Austin Picard, talking about the Delphi murders. So again, thanks for watching, guys. We do really appreciate it. Love interacting with you guys in the chat. It is a blast. So thanks for your time and support. And now let's talk about Mr. Beast holding up devil signs, because that's a popular thing people do. I didn't actually watch this video, John. Did you watch
I didn't
this?
either, so we're going to get to react
All right,
to it
we'll
in
get to
real
do this
time.
together. Yeah.
I'm not even sure what it's about. I just read the tweet, thought it was interesting.
Hi, I'm Rod Shaw, president of the Rockefeller Foundation. I'm here today with Jimmy Donaldson, better known as Mr. Beast. How's it going? And we are together, the Rockefeller Foundation and Mr. Beast, launching a great new partnership together. Yes, we're going to try to inspire the youth all around the world, change lots of lives. Lots of big projects coming up. We'll tell you more about it in the future, but I'm honored to be working with the Rockefeller Foundation, and let's change the world. And we're excited to work with Jimmy and his awesome team. They are already helping kids in Africa and around the planet. We're going to take that to the next level together, and we couldn't.
Oh, shit, dude.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. Yeah, right on the money, dude. 33.
Right at it.
Right on.
Uh-huh.
Be more excited. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy.
So aside from him holding up the devil's horns right at 33 seconds in, let's talk about this for a minute. And this is surface level shit, but did they actually say anything in that video?
Not at all.
No. Hey, we're excited about helping kids because helping kids is good, and you do good things when you help kids. So we're going to help kids because that's good, and you can be good too if you help us help kids because that's good. That's essentially what they said. That is some corporate America fake bullshit. Working in integrated teams to find synergistic solutions for a diverse working group of people to move towards corporate initiatives and exciting goals for a better future. That's saying nothing, okay? It's saying fucking nothing. I say things like that every day at work. I know exactly why. It's saying nothing. But scarier than that, two things. A, tell me that guy doesn't look like a reptilian in a brown skin suit. It just looks very snaky to me. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that he is some kind of weird used car salesman for the Carnegies, and that just starts to turn you into a snake over time. He kind of makes me think of a brown Voldemort. I don't know why, but he does look like a brown Voldemort to me. Harry, Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast. It looks like a brown Voldemort. I don't know. But let's talk about the Carnegies for a minute. The Carnegies and the Rockefellers, obviously big American businessmen, also heavily into, things like Satan worship. Also Masons. Also co-opted the educational system. Co-opted the health and wellness system. These are not good people. I can only imagine what kind of fucked up shit the Carnegie Foundation is doing behind closed doors. To me, this seems tantamount to giving money to USAID or the Clinton Foundation. It's probably being used to like traffic young kids from Uganda or something. Is there any ways anything good is coming out of this? Don't believe there is, especially with cherry on top, Mr. Beast doing this at 33 seconds, bro, because that's just a symbol people throw up now. John, you look pregnant with a comment.
It's that, but it's now is like it's kind of to get buy-in from young people. That's what's so creepy about this for me is that they're using like, it's one of the most influential YouTubers in like quote unquote new entertainment media.
Yeah.
And it's like this is how, this is like the Clinton Foundation shit, just not for boomers.
Yeah, oh, that's a good point.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. You two can be a good person if you're part of this, but now we're aiming at what kind of people watch Mr. Beast anymore? I mean, like 18-year-olds? Who's tuning into his content? What's his target audience? I've never been a fan. I know people who have been. Nothing against the guy, I guess, but like I've just never been into his stuff. I've never been into like the how ridiculous content either. It's just not my thing. But it does seem to appeal to a wide audience, so I don't know. I don't know what their target audience is, but you're right. They do seem to be aiming at capturing a younger audience and getting buy-in, I guess, for more like legacy type shit. Like how many 22-year-olds, how many 35-year-olds for that matter, are interested in what the Carnegie Foundation's doing? None of them. No millennials. We're all too disillusioned to give two fucks about what any foundation's doing. Like, we're all too broke and too sad and too lonely to care about anyone else but ourselves. I mean, we're breeding a nihilistic society. I guess, for my part, I don't see how this is actually going to accomplish its goal, except for in people who are maybe still, like, young enough to have not been beaten down by like adult life, maybe still living at home with mom and dad. It does seem to be targeted towards younger kids, John, to your point. Like we're trying to capture the younger audience now, and that is a little bit alarming because I feel like those are the same kind of people like this throw in the back of a truck and drive to Epstein's house. So that's scary. Not to throw out a bunch of fear porn, but that does freak me out. Moving on. I've depressed myself enough. Look, there's Vivek again, talking about year-round school for your kids, because your kids are taking up too much of your money. Stop spending money on your kids. Give them to the government. That's what we should do.
Yeah, what do you want to grab? What do you want to grab out of here next?
I mean, you stopped on this Campbell's thing, which I don't know really how much there is there, but like the executive of Campbell's Soup, it was leaked that he said, we have shit for fucking poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy Campbell's products, barely anymore. It's not healthy now that I know what the fuck's in it. Bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat it. This is tantamount to like the CEO of Pfizer saying they don't vaccinate their kids. Obviously, your food supply is poisoned. Obviously, the stuff that's given to you at the doctor's office is poisoned. Is this news to anyone at this point? Like, is anybody... I don't think this is news to anybody. Does anybody feel good after eating cream of chicken soup? It looks like cum. No one feels good after eating that. Let's move on. I've disgusted myself. I can't think about this anymore. This is gross. That man looks gross. That man looks like a can of soup. Tell me he doesn't look like a can of soup, John. Look at his face. Tell me he doesn't look like the cans of soup he sells. That man looks like a can of Campbell's. You're really focused in on that.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
All right.
Sure.
Okay. What else do we have in here? I've forgotten a lot of it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh,
this is interesting though.
Yeah, let's talk about this for a minute. They started talking about not minting pennies anymore when I was in elementary school, which I'm ashamed to say was 20 years ago. And they were talking about it for a good chunk of my time in elementary school. So it's been more than 20 years that they've been talking about this, kind of building up to the idea of us not minting pennies. Because even when I was a kid, we were hearing talks about how, like, hey, the penny's not made of copper anymore because copper's too expensive. All the blacks are stealing copper from all the whites, and it's a problem. They're selling it. You better watch out if you go into a sketchy neighborhood. Some of them browns are going to steal. Like, I went to a little bit of a racist high school, which is why they said that. But they were talking about that back in the day and talking about, you know, they'd have you cut a penny and it's like, hey, it's made from zinc. It's not made from copper anymore because that's expensive. It takes 2 cents to make a penny, which is just 1 cent, and that doesn't make any rational sense to me. So they've been building up to this for a long time. There's been obviously a lot of financial instability over the past forever. And then we have the rise of things like crypto, the rise of these social credit systems. I think Apple is starting to implement some kind of weird social credit system. Elon is coming out with like Grok money or X money or some shit all at the same time. It just by pure coincidence, because this is the Bob Ross of financial collapse, okay? It's just a happy little accident where we happen to come out with a social credit system. We happen to come out with a very easily trackable cryptocurrency. And oh, by the way, we're going to devalue your actual monetary system and start to take away real hard money. Just happy little accidents. Just happy little accidents. It's not to control you. It's not to make you so broke you don't give a fuck about anything. It's not to do that. It couldn't be to do that. Couldn't be to do that. Yet somehow it seems to be. And there are all these signs out here saying, hey, penny shortage, you got to pay with a card now. And every so often, we do get these, like, they almost seem like little tests, right? These moments where there'll be these bursts in the media of the idea that, like, cash is going away. This new stadium got built where they only accept cards, and these come every so often. But this seems like a bigger step in that direction. And with the elimination of cash comes the elimination of true freedom to be able to spend your money wherever the fuck you want and not have anybody have any say over it. Control over your financial system controls your ability to actually do things like buy food and take care of your family, unless you're lucky enough to be one of the, like, 3 people out there who live in some kind of legitimate, like, community where there's, you know, all these happy little Agora people running around, which good for you. I'm very jealous. But there are like 8 people that are actually doing that. So I don't see that as that practical of a solution. This is just a big problem. John, you like finance. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm thinking, like, you see how much control they have with just controlling the physical fiat cash monetary system.
Yeah.
And it's just like that being faded out slowly over time is like, who knows what they can do without it.
Yeah.
You know? Is like, I can't even fathom it. I really can't even fathom it, because it's like they can already just inflate the money supply to whatever they want, to pay for whatever they want, and just screw over, you know, the working class in the future. And it's just like, I struggle to wrap my mind around, like, outside of, like, obviously, like, you know, the individual control that they can have of, like, the ability to just easily debank people and cut them out of actually participating in any sort of economical transaction. It's like, is there even anything more they can do with inflating the money this way?
Yeah.
You know? It's just, it's a terrifying reality.
It's very Orwellian.
And it is so, you did touch on something. It is slowly creeping in. Like, soccer stadium in Nashville is cashless.
Yeah.
Right. And
I remember that was a big deal, like when stadiums started to, like, they started to crop up ones that just didn't accept cash. Now it's like a normal thing.
Yeah.
And it's this slow phase in of tiny cashless societies, essentially. That's what a soccer stadium that doesn't accept cash is.
Yeah.
It's a tiny society based solely on the card in your pocket.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, you saw what they were able to do and I still don't know what that story was actually meant to do, but you saw what they did to those truckers in Canada.
Yeah.
You've seen what happened to people like Owen Benjamin. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, the ability to control how you interact with the rest of the world is majorly powerful. And the fact that like they're slowly taking away this one little piece of in all honesty, it's the little piece of independence that they gave us, right?
Yeah.
They controlled the entire monetary system.
Right.
So it's like it, you know, they gave us that type of freedom. They can't, you know, they can't take it away. That's how the system is set up. And you know, trying to find a way to work against that is
Herculean. It's a Herculean feat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about essentially like a battle against the whole system, deep and shallow state. Like it's all, you know, they're kind of united on this front in an effort to get rid of cash. And so it is not, again, not, I feel like it's been a very fear porny episode, but not to be the person talking about all this scary shit, but this is kind of alarming to me. And I mean, there are obvious solutions to this problem, right? Engaging in real commerce with your community. That's a difficult thing. And most of us, honestly, people like me who lives in an apartment, like, the sad fact is a lot of us don't really produce anything of value. My mom said it beautifully when she and I were driving, I can't remember, some up to Nashville somewhere one day from Columbia where I live. And I was telling her about my job and talking about like different jobs of people I know who were we were all working remotely at the time. She's like, all these people have fake jobs. All of these people have fake jobs. And I was like, yeah, nobody produces anything of value anymore. There are probably like 8 people in the state of Tennessee who actually produce things of value, period. And they're all farmers. Like, no one produces anything of value anymore. Definitely not at their job. You might in your personal life, if you're one of those people who's actually productive in your personal life, who's not so exhausted from your 9 to 5 that you actually do shit. And if you do, like, kudos to you. All the applause. I'm a piece of shit. Fucking good for you. Like, keep it up. But all of our jobs are fake. So much of our life is centered around this like fake system of pseudo commerce, because it's not even real commerce. We're not trading actual like goods and services based on any kind of like real exchange of value. It's all ethereal and based on confidence in like fake. It's weird when you sit down and think about it. And I lost track of mine. Lost track of my point. All of our jobs are fake, though, and so nobody's producing anything of value to be able to. That's what it was. Nobody's producing anything of value to be able to trade.
Yeah.
Most people living in cities like don't have any skills, right? You hire a tradesman to come do the drywall on your house. You hire somebody of the Latino persuasion to come build your house. You go buy your food. If it's not at a grocery store, it's at a farmer's market, right? If something breaks, you hire somebody to come. Like, nobody has any useful skills. Nobody is farming. Nobody's foraging. Nobody's a blacksmith. Like, no one's producing anything outside of, like, shitty podcasts and bad music. Like, that's all people are producing now. People used to aspire to grow up and run the family farm. Now people aspire to go be Cardi B or whoever's famous now. People aspire to have a fat ass on television. And not so I say all that to say not only has the currency been devalued, but so have like the assets of our like minds and hands, so to speak. So too have those been devalued.
Well, dude, now that it's interesting that you kind of say that. It's more so that like it just kind of took the place of it a little bit, if that makes sense. It's like the monetary system. Just, but I mean, you know, instead of like, hey, I need this thing, so I'm gonna go and like provide a value to this dude, right? And we'll trade. He needs some shit from me. I need some shit from him. We'll trade.
Yeah.
You're right. The dollar kind of interceded itself as that, like, it's that medium of exchange now.
Right.
And if it's not, it has no value, it's not based on any value, it kind of has taken away the need for people to really have any sort of skill.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that, and I need to flesh out that thought a little bit more of like what that actually does, because I've never really like thought of it in that sort of sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it does is it disincentivizes people to build useful skills, to produce things of value, because instead of producing, you consume. We've learned how to be consumers, not producers. It's shifted people's focus and people's mindset to consuming rather than producing, because you can go to your wage slave job and get enough of these like coupons, right, to be able to pay for your AC, your entertainment, and enough Cheetos to make you diabetic. So we've moved people from being productive to consumptive, I guess.
Yeah.
Not people with TB, but people who like consume shit. Yeah. Maybe that's, does that make sense? Is that a retarded thought?
I mean, that makes perfect sense. I'm trying to think, like, I'm trying to work out is like I'm just trying to work out like how much this changes if like the actual physical dollar goes away.
Conceptually, yeah. If just the dollar goes away, I don't think much changes, because we're already essentially operating in a lot of cases in a cashless way. The concern now are things like the extra control that comes with not being able to move outside of the electronic system, right? Because now I can take a wad of cash and go pay Bill down the road for a 1911, take it home, and nobody knows I have it, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
If we do away with, like, if we devalue currency, like I don't even like calling cash hard currency, but if we devalue like cash, then you can't do that anymore. Like, there's going to be some kind of record, be it ones and zeros, with your bank, or be it on the blockchain, because those are allegedly decentralized and essentially immutable. They don't change like after they're written. So there's going to be some kind of record of it. And so it eliminates people's ability to like have private transactions, and it also affords like big entities who have the resources to be able to control like your access to the banking system. Quite frankly, whether or not you have electricity, it gives them way more control over your ability to engage in commerce and your power to move in society that is fueled by money.
Yeah.
And so that's the worry of moving away from some kind of pseudo hard currency, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that at all, and that just kind of was all obvious to me. I was just
my bad.
No, it's just I'm trying to like work this thought out real time, and we can move on because this is just something I'll have to think about in my own time. Is like I'm just trying to actually like, is there like actual some type of real like personal effects that like the fiat money system instilled on people? Because we kind of talked about that as like having that fiat money system, it kind of helped people just not have to have any type of real like physical valuable skills to trade with people.
Yeah.
And as I'm kind of thinking is like, does a cashless society like take that a step further,
Yeah,
and like that's what I'm trying to work out in my head, if there's something to that as well. Because it's like I think the obvious control mechanisms of it is rather obvious, you know. So it's just trying to, is there another layer to that?
It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. And yeah, you're right. We have been belaboring this point a little bit, so we can move on. But that is an interesting question. We may have to circle around here in a few weeks.
Yeah, just giving people an insight into my very retarded thinking process.
It's all right.
It's very retarded and labored.
A little bit of a tism flare up every now and then never hurt anybody, except when it does. When it does.
What else in here do you want to close on?
Just very quickly, MTG's leaving Congress. Elon Musk is crazy. What are the odds he's actually running all of X? We don't know. And
That's supposed
he's
to be in here.
what?
That was supposed to move to the
Fair
other
enough. And in conjunction with everything we just talked about, we have ads for X Money and Apple's new control platform for currency and social credit. Now, all that being said, I want to get back to, unless you have anything else before we start to close this out, John.
Yeah, no.
I want to get back to what I started talking about, which I was hoping that I would come up with some clever way to tie this into what we were talking about, but I didn't. So I want to get back to what I started talking about with my my nephew. So we opened up talking about how I went to Thanksgiving. We were talking after we had, eaten, and he had made me run laps around their house, and I was ready to puke, so we laid down in the grass and looked up at the stars, right? And just all of a sudden, he looks at me and says, I feel like we're being watched. And we're outside. It's a beautiful, like, crisp Tennessee night. The stars are out. There's no Starlink in the sky. So I'm wondering, what is this kid thinking? This kid who is obviously, like, much more connected, I think, to the spiritual realm and what's really going on out there than I am as a 32 adult male who's, been indoctrinated by the system, done a whole lot of messed up stuff. Like, I'm not as pure and connected as this little kid. So I asked him immediately, like, who do you think it is? What do you think it is? And one of my biggest frustrations with kids' parents or older siblings, whoever they are, is like, people always answer. People never let kids just talk. And I'm one of those strange people. I will talk to your kid like a full-grown adult. Like, obviously, I'm not going to tell your kid to fuck off, but like, I will afford them like the same, like, respect in conversation, like the same attention, and speak to them the same way I would like you right now, John.
Mhm.
And so I get annoyed, very annoyed, when people speak for their children, because kids have a lot of very interesting things to say and much better perspectives than a lot of adults do if we'll just shut the fuck up and let them talk. So it was hard to get an answer out of them because everybody kept trying to, like, interrupt and talk over him. And they're like, oh, he probably thinks it's this or that, whatever. And eventually, finally, after much prying, because initially he, like, repeated things other people were saying, like, hey, it's a satellite, hey, it's Starlink, hey, whatever. He said, hey, it's something like the dinosaurs.
Holy shit.
Yeah. If I remember correctly.
Interesting.
And I just want to leave the audience with this, like, this, I don't know if I'm communicating this well, but like the same level of awe and wonder I had at what is this kid seeing or imagining? What occurred to him all of a sudden that made him, like, sit up straight? Because he straightened up. It was like, I feel like we're being watched. And like, he didn't seem alarmed or concerned. And then to tell, like, it's something like the dinosaurs.
Interesting.
And I just have to wonder, what is that? What could that be? And guys, if anybody listening has, like, a thought or an answer, feel free to drop it in the chat. Shoot us an email, theveritasroad@gmail.com. Because I'm curious what people think that could potentially be. But I just thought it's fascinating how much a lot of children see, but we never afford them the opportunity to communicate that with us. And it's not this, like, I learned so much from my kids bullshit. We never afford them the opportunity to actually say what they see, say what they think. And so I guess what I want to leave people with is this overarching idea of just let people talk for a minute. Old, young, middle-aged, shut up and let people talk and listen for 5 minutes. And it's the coolest thing. It is the coolest thing.
Yeah, and like, you got, like, reject, like, we're sold this idea that, like, children are underdeveloped, so it's like their thought processes aren't as coherent as those as adults, or like the people of the past, well, they were primitive and right, their thought processes, their observations are not as advanced as ours are today.
No.
And it's like, dude, reject that bullshit, reject that kind of narcissism in it as kind of what it is, and
Hubris,
like,
yeah,
just like pay the fuck attention, because it's like, people of the past were far more connected to what was going on around them
Yeah.
than we are today. And you can't even measure like the difference.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, that's such a fascinating story. Such a fascinating story.
Yeah.
Because yeah, dude, is like there is something about it. There's something about being young, not inundated with all of just, not even just like you said, propaganda and stuff like that. There's that, but it's just not even being inundated with just like stress
Yeah.
and like just like some of the other crap of life that we're not as adults typically taught how to deal with very healthily.
Yeah.
That like just makes you connected to the spiritual realm, makes you connected to God in a way different way.
Yeah.
And like, you know, Jesus says that like you got to be like the children,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's just like that idea is repeated over and over in the gospel. And there's something to it. Something to it.
There is. And everybody always interprets that as like this weird kind of gay childlike innocence, but I think it's more than that. I think it's a lot more badass than that. Like the idea of simply rejecting all the bullshit and being connected enough to the real stuff to see it for what it is, the same way kids are, to rejecting all of the nonsense, all of the brainwashing, all of the stress, whatever it is, the same way kids do. Kids don't buy that bullshit. They don't. They simply are what they are. They see what they see, and they say what they say. And that's pretty cool in 2025.
Hell yeah, brother.
So with that, thanks for listening, folks. It's been a blast. Be sure to hit the follow button, hit the like button, drop a comment. It's great talking to you guys. We love getting to know you. Check us out on all the social media. We are on YouTube and Rumble. You can find us on Rumble, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. We do have some more content coming soon. We'll be streaming around 7 p.m. Central Time this Sunday, as well as... Damn it, John.
Sorry.
As well as, again, 7 p.m. Central Time on Thursday the 11th. So be looking for that. Some interesting stuff to come. A lot more content, hopefully, headed y'all's way. So, yeah, anything I'm missing, John? Check out the PayPal if you want. We are working. I know I say this every time, but we are working on the Patreon. We talked about it again tonight. So more content coming. We're very excited about some of the stuff we talked about tonight. So more stuff coming on that front. So stay tuned. Yeah, love you guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.